You know, one thing I've learned, as simple and basic as it may be, is dedication's hard work. Yeah, it's the hard work of dedication, but you could be dedicated to something without hard work, right? You could get up every morning and eat some donuts, right? You could stay up every night and stay dedicated to every night staying up late. But do those things actually require hard work? No. A lot of times it's just our laziness, right? So you have to have the partnership of hard work and consistency. If you're consistent on things, it may be a bad thing you're consistent on. And if you're just hardworking, only when you do things, but you're not consistent in actually doing something, you know, both by themselves are somewhat useless. It's when you pair them together that they become very powerful. You know, another basic thing that I've learned is just making sure that you're actually planning some things out. We don't want to get too into the weeds on planning things out. If you're an engineer, by all means, please be, getting into the weeds. I'd like my bridge to stay standing while I cross it, thank you. But if we get into planning things, how our day is going to go, or how our week's going to go, or how the month's going to go, we can get too much into the weeds. But at the same time, I've learned that simple things like looking at the weather the next day, for what I've been doing, just that little bit of planning helps a lot. It's the determining factor whether my camera might malfunction or whether it's going to remain dry because I bring what I need to. So I've decided to come back to the big tree that I did for day 26. It was my favorite sunrise, not just because the sunrise was beautiful that day, but because of just getting to get back out into nature, or back out on the farm at least. And so figured, what better fitting way to end the 30-day challenge than to go back to where I had the most fun, Well, we might actually have success this time, boys and girls. Don't want to get too close here. My beard may catch on fire. I'd get it going. So what have I learned during this 30-day challenge? Crackers are great when you're cold and you're outdoors and you need something simple. That's number one. Number two, coffee. It's a miracle drug. Yeah, miracle. I don't think a lot of people, I think more now, but I think we're still getting to a point where people are just now coming around to understanding that they themselves need to be selling themselves as a brand. In reality, that's the world we're living in, especially with social media platforms that exist and all that. You really have to build your own personal brand, even if you work for a corporation. In order to stand out, Bill has to have something that Susan doesn't. Kayla has to have something that Tim doesn't, if she wants to get the next position before him. Building your brand now, and I'm not the first one to say this by any means, building your brand now, building your resume now, comes down to building your social media platforms, showing people what you can actually do. And that's what people want to see. And so social media is a great way to show people, to prove to people you get things done on a consistent basis. Again, just to reiterate that point, I think that your social media platform, if you aren't taking it seriously, then you're not taking potential future opportunities seriously. If you're saying, I want to progress, I want to do well and climb the ladder, or I want to get a job here, or I want to start my own business here, or I want to be a freelance, person and film and photography and all that, do all that stuff. If you're saying that, but you aren't taking your social media seriously, if you aren't on Instagram and LinkedIn, on all these things regularly, you're not taking yourself seriously and you're not taking the opportunities seriously. Something else I've learned is it's hard to build a good fire when everything's wet. One other thing I've learned is that if you really want to do something, you just have to do it. Now, that sounds super basic, right? But so many people talk, right? I've done it too. I'm not exempt from it. But so many people talk about they wish, they could do this, or they want to start doing that, or whatever. And they use so many excuses. We all use them. We say, oh, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or you know, and some of those things may be true, you know, depending on your situation in life, but a lot of times we do have the time, and a lot of times it doesn't take as much money as we think it does. So anyway, that's something else I've learned, is that if you really want to do something, stop waiting until tomorrow. There's no easier way, no simpler way to get to where you want to go than starting what you think you want to do now. There's a lot more that I could go over on what I've learned during this challenge, but I don't want to belabor the point. I'd rather you try a 30-day challenge for yourself, because I think it's well worth it. At the very least, you'll build yourself a habit of staying consistent with something. And if you get up early in the morning to do whatever it is, then you build another habit for free, right? So you get 2 for 1. Building a habit of getting up early, getting to work, and then doing whatever you're doing. So that's my challenge to you, is take a 30-day challenge yourself and see what it does for you. All right, well, I'm heading out. I spent a long time there at the camp, probably longer than I ought to have, but I think I got some good photos, got some good video, and hopefully was able to relay some things that I've learned from this 30-day challenge. Just have to start things. You can't wait till tomorrow, or if you do wait till tomorrow, then start early in the morning. You can't keep putting things off, saying, I wish I could do that, I wish I could do this, I wish I were like that person, because they always do all these cool things that I wish I was doing. Well, the reason they're doing them is simple. They started, right? So you just have to start somewhere, start small. That's fine, and build, you know. That's another great lesson I've learned and continue to learn. But it's not only starting things. It's about continuing to do things. Not just starting them, but seeing them through and to keep pushing. That's what it's about.